Hello guys, and today I feel the need to discuss one extremely important moral ethical question: why Russians do not protect their own territory, why Russians do not react to the special military operation in Kursk. Those of you who follow the events of the Russian war in Ukraine may compare the start of the invasion in Ukraine and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian civilians who went out on the streets actually without weapons but ready to protect every inch of our streets, of our houses, and it continues. And Russians who simply accept what is happening in their regions. It is good that the Ukrainian armed forces are different from the Russian invaders. They are kind, they follow the rules of war. But still, what is wrong with these people and how can we understand them if we need that for the future security on this planet, for the future defeat of Russia and the world after Putin? Let's discuss some very important moments in the video. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to know more about this part of the world, please subscribe and help us spread more information about the Ukrainian fight for freedom. Honestly, many of my thoughts in this video are inspired by the analysis of Ukrainian internet and intellectuals like Vitaly Portnikov, whom I follow on YouTube, and I will leave a link to his English channel. And lots of questions that we come across on social media, and also my personal observations during this decades of what is inherently wrong with Russians. Honestly, I have to confess, we are very different, not only because of this brutal war and all the crimes and violence, but genuinely, we are very different. And perhaps one of the greatest mistakes of the modern informational space was to treat Russia and Ukraine as something similar. Of course, these are the consequences of the Iron Curtain, of Russian propaganda, and that's why actually the full-scale invasion, the reaction of Ukraine in February 2022 led to what many say and describe as the greatest geographical discovery of the 21st century, of a very different, of a very brave, very democratic country, Ukraine. I'm proud to represent here. But what is wrong with Russians who do not react to the invasion of their territories? Of course, the purpose of the Ukrainian troops' presence on the side of the Russian Federation is to create a buffer zone to safeguard Ukrainian territories. But this is huge. Just for a second, remembering that I'm a teacher, a bit of a teacher, and you know teachers love illustrations. I believe they help to understand things better. Just for a second, imagine something similar happening in your country, that the army of the neighboring country invades a territory in your country. More than 1,000 square kilometers, 20, 35, 40 and continuing kilometers deep inside your country. Control is taken over 82 settlements, military commandments created. What will be inside of your country? Perhaps very serious discussions everywhere. Everyone will be talking about that. The president, well, perhaps he will definitely travel to that region. And what do we see? Putin with an official visit to Azerbaijan, speaking about the oil prices, about the situation in Caucasus, and not even mentioning the regular Ukrainian army on a very large part of the Kursk region, pretending nothing is happening. This is not strength, this is weakness, and this is totally impossible to comprehend Russian mindset. Remember to subscribe to understand more, or at least to understand how much we do not understand about this dark, evil empire. So, Your country, after 2.5 years of war against an army that you have described to your population as very weak, non-existing actually, so this army invades your super strong nuclear country of Russia, and you do not comment anything. And moreover, for almost 2 weeks, Ukrainian troops continue moving deeper inside the Russian Federation. It is good that our soldiers, General Syrsky, are smart and no one plans to go up to the Kremlin. We plan to expand around the Ukrainian border, once again protecting more of Ukrainian regions from constant Russian shelling and artillery. That's the plan. Together with thousands of Russian prisoners of war already on the Ukrainian side for the exchange of the Ukrainian soldiers and liberation of the Ukrainian heroes. But, okay, Putin pretends nothing is happening. You will not see his press conference speaking about one part of Kursk region occupied by the Ukrainian armed forces. It's not a raid. There are trenches already, defense walls that we have built to keep these territories until we can exchange them for Ukrainian 1991 borders. What do we observe inside the Kursk region? People feel quite okay and comfortable with Ukrainian soldiers. They speak with them, they take food from them, they take pictures with them, and you literally see there is no difference for them which flag is on the village council, as Portnikov states, and I agree with him. And many other things demonstrate that they are totally neutral, but that's insane. That is insane. And of course, they are definitely 1 million times safer with the Ukrainian armed forces on their territories than with the Russian. On Twitter, you can follow me there. The links are in the description of this video. I shared a photo which demonstrates a huge difference between how the occupied by the Russian army Ukrainian settlements look in 2022-2023 in comparison with Kursk settlements with Ukrainian soldiers, treating Russian civilians better than Russian authorities treat them. But still, they do not react. You will not see Russian men, Kursk men, volunteering, organizing, I don't know, territorial defense, looking for some weapons to stop Ukrainian aggressors. No, this is not happening. Okay, insane. Then we look at the rest of the Russia Federation. It's huge. And you will not see any people coming to Kursk to back up Kursk people, to stop the Ukrainian armed forces. You will not see people commenting that online. And that's tragic. And that also highlights that there is nothing we can expect from the Russian population. Please don't wait. They will react. They will protest. They will do anything. They accept foreign army on their lands without any explanations from Putin, without any plans, without any strategies. What can be done? Subscribe to see Russia defeated, and I feel like a translator, interpreter from this part of the world. And honestly, I believe YouTube needs more of such conversations, because many people who are happy to live far away from Russia are very far away from the understanding and even fixing, noticing their mindset. And we have to keep that attitude of the population in mind when we think about the future of Europe, when we think about the end of this war on the conditions of the democratic world and not Russia, and when some still hope a serious democratic movement can come out of Russia. No, guys, they do not protest even against the foreign soldiers on their territories. Putin pretends nothing is happening. People all over Russia pretend nothing is happening, and people in Kursk pretend nothing is happening, just a different flag on their buildings. Okay? And there is one interesting concept that made me think about after this intellectual videos is actually that for decades, since the start of Putin's war against Ukraine, for example, in 2014, the Kremlin started distorting, erasing the borders, creating this paradox. Like, if you ask an ordinary Russian, uh, where are the borders of Russia, he or she won't be able to answer this question. Because they don't know what's the correct answer and where exactly are these Russian borders. And that's insane, because this leads to the fact that Putin treats, for example, free liberated Kherson as part of Russia. And in the plan for negotiations, he mentions that Ukraine should give up Kherson and Zaporizhia. You see, my brain does not keep this evil, toxic information, but Kherson definitely, right? Zaporizhia. And for him, Kherson, that is a Ukrainian city under Ukrainian control, Ukrainian constitution, Ukrainian people, Ukrainian everything, he treats it as Russia. So when he loses control over Kursk region and Ukrainian borders move deeper inside the Russian Federation, is it also okay? So playing with the concept, with the understanding of borders is actually very evil and dangerous, not only for the Russia as aggressor, but also for a Russia as a loser. Actually, when the world is very complex, countries are very different, cultures are very different, religions are very different, people, perhaps it's better to follow these old traditional laws and rules that determine where our borders end. That's the way Ukrainians lived and will live. And Russia, with its constant desire to move borders, causes lots of dangers and threats to the world. That's why it is so important to defeat it without expecting the support, understanding from inside Russia. Guys, this is our job. I know in the tolerant democratic world, we often say we should not interfere. That is the task of the Russian people. Russian people are super atrophied. They do not know what democracy is. They cannot start practicing it. It's just like you visit, I don't know, a tribe that did not have any contact with the world ever, and you expect that they are reading books. No, they don't know what a book is. They don't have an alphabet. You cannot wait and see what happens. It is our task. And to start de-zombifying, democratizing, which I'm not sure is possible, but still, let's hope. Russia, we need to defeat it. Actually, military defeat is the best option for Russia. I'm sorry, maybe I was too talkative today, but I love such intellectual topics and I hope you enjoyed them too. And this is vital also when choosing military and political strategies against Putin. Remember to join me on Twitter, X, Threads, and Discord. I'm active there and I share different stuff and more about everyday life in Ukraine. Also, thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel and helping me film and write more. 40,000 words already and counting. Also, please, guys, help me with our NAFO campaign. We haven't reached a half of it yet, and it's vital because you know that Ukrainian drones are perfect for the demilitarization of evil Russia and the protection of safety and security on the planet. Please join the NAFO campaign. I will link it in the first comment and pin it, please. And check our merch shop for really good items to celebrate the independence of Ukraine. And you remember that all are invited for our Saturday live to celebrate the Day of Independence. And on the 23rd of August, the Prime Minister of India plans to visit Ukraine. Let me know, would you like to hear my comments, what I think about that, is it good or bad? And what it actually means, because during his visit in Russia, he was a bit disappointed. Though the way we see politics is very different. So, most importantly, that we see politics and the future of the world in a similar way. I'm very grateful for your support, for your friendship, but most importantly, that you stand with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!